Shree Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Sindhuraruna Vigraham Trinayanam Manikya Maulispurat Taranayaka Shekharam Smitamukhim Apina Makshuruham Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktotpalam Vibhratim Saumyam Ratna Gadasta Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Param Ambikam. Welcome to all for this session on Lalitopakhyanam. In the previous chapter, we have seen the Bhandasura being blessed by Rudra himself with the blessings and the boon. He came to the Danavaloka and became their king. Shukracharya installed him as the king in the Shunyapura or Shunyanagara, which was created by Mayasura at the command of Bhandasura. And then Bhandasura ensured a sadachara among the Danavas. So, because of that reason, everybody was performing the tapas and they were also performing the yajnas, which was sending the power to the gods, the Devas. In the meanwhile, for 60,000 years, Bhandasura ruled from Shunyanagara peacefully, ensuring the sadachara among all the Danavas, thus becoming himself more powerful than Indra. However, in the meantime, what the Indra was turning to be more weaker in comparison with Bhandasura. Watching the pitiful Indra, plight of Indra, Lord Vishnu, the eternal foe of Danavas, bethought himself of a means to bring down Bhanda from his virtuous life. He decided to tempt him to succumb to the wiles of Mohini. To this end, he created a most alluring damsel full of celestial charm and irresistible beauty and addressed her thus: O thou of golden eyes, your charm and beauty shall allure all beings and blind them with passion and moha. You may move with freedom and power over all beings, but none can resist you. Go forth, therefore, and win Bhandasura's love, enslaving him to your allurements, make him forget all else, including Shiva's worship, because till that time Bhandasura was a good devotee of Shiva, Shankara. He was making all his subjects also to do tapas to please Shiva. Now, because of this Sadachara, Bhandasura was growing in power and Indra was becoming weaker and weaker day by day. So Vishnu created the Maya Mohini and sent her to allude Bhandasura into the bad karma so that his power will going to reduce. Being thus blessed, Mohini requested Lord Vishnu to grant her the company and assistance of celestial damsels as well. Vishnu agreed and let Vishwachi and other chief celestial maidens to go with her. Maya Mohini, thus accompanied by the choicest of apsaras, hied to the familiar pleasure haunts of Banda and his retinue of ministers and courtiers. Seeing them all gaily engaged in amusing one another, Mohini selected an enchanting alcove in a beautiful garden by the edge of the tank of crystal clear water and raised her celestial voice in melodious tunes to the accompaniment of her seraphic apsaras. Bhandasura and his retinue were all intrigued and they started to follow the voice to its source. Once there, Bhandasura was struck with wonder at the indescribable beauty of the damsel he beheld. For a moment he stared spellbound at her exquisite charm. Soon recovering himself, he approached her like an automaton and begged her to accept him as her lover. Imagine his joy on receiving her instant consent. Other members of his entourage introduced themselves to the other damsels, and so all were soon engaged in courtship and love. Days, weeks, months, and years passed by, and they remembered nothing else, immersed in their world of love and lust. Forgotten were their daily ablutions and homas and worship to Shiva. All rules of conduct and acharas were set at naught. Bhandasura and his ministers bothered not about the affairs of the state, nor the welfare of their city, nor their subjects. Years rolled on, and even the Purohit who had gone to remind them of their daily duties was sent away disgraced. Thus, enveloped in the moha of lust and passion among the celestial damsels, the Danava chiefs passed 108 years. During this period, Indra and his Devathas lived in peace in their Swargaloka. While Devendra was thus seated on his throne surrounded by all his devas, he saw Maharshi Narada approaching him. Descending from his throne, he welcomed the sage with appropriate salutations and courteous offerings. After seating him on an elevated seat, he said with great respect, O greatest of all Munis, I am blessed by your presence, which always is a harbinger of good to come. I am eager to listen to your advice and be freed from all cause of fear and sorrow. Please speak and dispel our ignorance and gloom. Narada was deeply impressed by Devendra's humility and spoke to him thus with gracious mien. O Indra, Bhandasura is now immersed in his unquenchable passion of Maya Mohini, and that has saved all other women folk from his clutches. He has now forgotten all else beside his love for Mohini, who is none other than Vishnu Maya. I shall now tell you how you may bring about his utter downfall. Go yourself and perform tapas to Deva Devi with all your devas and devatas for necessary astras and shastras and for necessary help to vanquish Bhandasura. This is the most opportune time while Bhanda is unaware of all that is going on around him in the three worlds. Go now and obtain the boon from Paradevi before your enemies begin to mend their ways and themselves become heirs to her mercy. Thus, with the blessings of Narada, Devendra led his devatas to the Himalayas, where they started tapas on the shores of river Bhagirathi. Thus, in this story, we have seen how Bhandasura became a real good king, taking care of his subjects and following the Sadachara. However, he is a Daitya. One day or the other, he would lose sense and will start creating trouble to the world as it is written on his forehead. So, because of that reason, Vishnu created a Maya Mohini and sent her to allure him into the Durachara, leaving all his Sadachara. And the same thing happened. Mohini, along with other damsels, she arrived in his town, and Bhandasura, on finding her, begged her for her love and lost himself in her love and the lust. And because of that reason, he stopped worshipping Shiva and stopped all his Nitya karmas and start losing his capabilities, start losing his power. In the meantime, the Maharshi Narada came to Indra and told him that this is the opportune time to go and please the Devi Parashakti and get all the powers from her in order to destroy, in order to ensure the downfall of Bhandasura. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmira Puravasini Swamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidyadanancha Dehime. Goodbye.